HighBridge, a division of Recorded Books, presents The Madwoman and the Roomba, My Year of Domestic Mayhem, by Sandra Tsing Loh. Read by Sandra Tsing Loh. Preface. 55, the golden years, the heady career summiting, ripening emotional maturity, the confident gazelle-like loping with a surfboard toward the Pacific blue waters of a sagely planned retirement. That's what we find in airline magazines anyway, which I read deep in coach, starving because I haven't sagely planned anything, not even a snack that costs less than an $18 Wolfgang Puck quinoa aioli wrap. Nowadays, coast to coast, I discover, it seems fit silver foxes are busy not just surfing, but using their American Express Platinum cards to start their own rockin' garage bands, hitting a rad chord and doubling over in laughter as their bangs, really, they have bangs, fly forward. But no, my 55th year was more like living a disorganized 25-year-old's life in a malfunctioning 85-year-old's body. And I don't mean Ruth Bader Ginsburg's. She is a superwoman who, if arm wrestled, would clearly dislocate my shoulder. It felt like trying to live Arianna Huffington's thrilling global values without her staff or dry cleaner. It was like junior high without the carbs. Let's talk for a moment about retirement, a word I've never been able to hear without dropping into a kind of Zen waking sleep state. And now, Ira is the sound of bankers laughing. Let's look at what many baby boomers are doing in this second act of life. Yes, that's what my 72-year-old retired Gestalt therapist friend calls it, without irony. Of course, she also wears Tibetan and Native American jewelry without irony. She is from Pennsylvania, but I digress. Here's what the boomers are doing compared to activities in my own household. Boomers. Oh, we just spent 4 rhapsodic weeks this summer learning to make bread from Master Chef Ennio from the Food Channel in a sumptuous Tuscan farm villa. Sandra. On a recent cobbled-together trip to New York, our Airbnb bachelor pad, the only listing without prohibitive cleaning fees, had a single nightstand next to the futon, bearing action figures, hand lotion, and a box of Kleenex. You do the math. Boomers. We are building a second home on land we bought 10 years ago on a verdant remote island off the coast of Seattle. Sandra. The closest I'll get to the invigorating scent of the ocean is half-off oysters via Groupon Happy Hour. But those gastrobar happy hour menus are so confusing. It's $3 off on well drinks before 5? What is a sunchoke? $80 later, you're still starving. It's a recurring bagatelle, fancy words at least are free, we call highway gas strawberry. Boomers. Stephen has been learning to speak Khmer in preparation for our 6-week Norwegian Silver Star cruise to Cambodia. Sandra. I have to admit, I am obsessed with those glossy cruise pamphlets that fall like satiny papaya skins out of the Sunday New York Times, which our household purchases at the reduced teacher's rate of $49 a month. Not only can we not afford $15,000 per person, I couldn't even afford the tasteful luxury/casual musliny blouses and fine linen palazzo pants all the serenely medicated salt and pepper-haired cruisers seem to be wearing. In neutral colors. What about red wine stains? Once again, middle age. The dry cleaning alone. The only aquatic vacation my partner Charlie, He of the 2000 BW Beetle that smells like melted crayons, and I could afford was a 3-day carnival cruise to Mexico. A traumatic Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It's in the chapter entitled 101 Arguments Against Summer Fun. This floating DMV from hell was survivable only via the weed Charlie's mobile LA delivery service had prescribed for his, put Modelo beer can down to make big air quotes, glaucoma. Which is to say, technically, yes, I am a baby boomer, those born between 1946 and 1964, but my birth year, 1962, was at the drooping tail of the boom. Born late in the game, think less true boomers than baby boom tastes on a Gen X budget, or X booms. This can also sometimes look like first world guilt on a third world budget, resulting in what I call second world problems, but more on that to follow. Now in middle age, for those planning to live to 120, the boomers are those silver-haired surfers, former doctors and attorneys, loping towards several million in retirement. By contrast, the life hack many of us aging ex-booms have worked out regarding our retirement, healthcare, and leisure activities? 2 words: medical cannabis. P.S. The people who buy that $6 red table wine blend whose black and red label features a devil with horns or a woodcut of a pirate with some sort of medieval or Old English font on it, because, as you know, an ornate font with lots of serifs suggests classier wine? Us. Okay, let me double back to say the cannabis thing may be overstated. I myself have always had little tolerance for pot. In midlife, Charlie has tried to give me just enough glaucoma medication so I can tolerate Game of Thrones, but the result is always me losing consciousness 15 minutes in and yet still waking up the next morning covered with a dragon breath's worth of maple bacon kettle chips crumbs. This is an amazing new menopausal innovation: sleep eating. However, it's no secret that our whirling blue marble has been going through some tumultuous, almost apocalyptic feeling times lately, about which literally millions of words have been written. Bumper sticker: where are we going, and why are we in this handbasket? So even if one isn't getting stoned regularly, though no judgments if you are, I do think, as we struggle through day by day, there's something to be said for checking out a little occasionally, taking a breath, and finding some restorative joy, or at least some humor, damn it, in the small things. So this, in short, is what this book is: a simple year in midlife. True, being this age did not seem golden, but feeling old and young at the same time can turn out to have silver linings. Gratitude is not just a word on a throw pillow anymore, although it is, in fact, also a word on a throw pillow. Yes, the daily news is surreal, but the Walmart reading glasses I bought for the fun Tina Fey frames with the slightly too low prescription fuzzes it. Yes, there are some weird hip joint things going on, but no more periods. Effing awesome. Yes, the personal trainer you booked is commanding you to do burpees, but that's the beauty of not being in junior high anymore. Fire him. Speaking of junior high, this year my golden years included parenting my somewhat maturing, somewhat not school-age daughters. This is the year I woke up from all of that you go girl nurturing. And do we feel you have a soy allergy, honey? To full on freaking out about college. There were some unexpected, and I blush to say, not entirely unwelcome funerals. there were the joys and surprising annoyances of spending the second act of one's life with one's soulmate. We are both bohemian. We are both messy. We both do not understand home repair or pest control. Charming at 20, not so charming approaching 60. Although, as always, those Tina Fey, slightly too low a prescription reading glasses help take the edge off. And in fact, are we so different? I sense you too need a break. Take a load off. Pull up a virtual, $1,000 off Costco massage chair. Let it pound your buttocks while a Roomba, guilt-free housekeeping, gently circles. I'll put Pandora on to some soothing spa music. Never mind that it is neither spa nor music. Let me pour you a glass of varietal wine with a 14th century wizard on the label. Don't worry, it has been decanting since Tuesday. Forget the bigger world. Let's celebrate the smaller world. Relax. Enjoy. Have a laugh. When the world has gone mad, it's mad not to. The Madwoman and the Roomba. The tooth. It's that moment that comes only in dreams. I'm standing in my kitchen in the gauzy, soft focus pocket of the mid-afternoon, 3:15, the quiet space between lunch and cocktail hour. I've just gotten off a family conference call with my older sister Caitlin, known within the family hierarchy as eldest daughter, alpha dog, or, to the younger ones, Tiger Aunt Kay. The territory under her vast military command is that of estates, trusts, elder care, life insurance, property deeds, and safety deposit boxes with possible forgotten silk kerchiefs of family gems. Sam was also on the call. Affable, 17 years old, the first low grandchild of 5, Sam is applying to college. According to Sam's perhaps admirably zen dad, my brother Eugene, an engineer, Sam's GPA is somewhere in the high 3s if you count AP classes. Sam's SATs? Oblique, somewhat tortuously phrased answer. There are kids who have been known to have gotten into college with SAT scores somewhere in that range. Tiger Aunt Kay has gone around the back, done some digging of her own, reporting that Sam has a 3.987 GPA, basically a 4.0, right? And a surreally high SAT score that sounds like my weight on Jupiter, but which, according to the new scoring, is apparently well up into the 90s percentage-wise. These stats more than match those of his late mother, who went to Stanford, his first choice, right before UCLA, UC Berkeley, and, for safety, UC San Diego. The one problem? The personal essay. Here Sam needed his 2 aunts' help. As they say, it takes a village. Tiger Aunt Kay directs a K-12 STEM nonprofit, so is no stranger to energetic grant writing. I am a freelance writer, theater artist, adjunct teacher of science communication. I am no stranger to putting a sounds more professional than it really is face on things. He read us the prompt. Tell us about a personal quality, talent, accomplishment, contribution, or experience that is important to you. What about this quality or accomplishment makes you proud, and how does it relate to the person you are? There was a beat. Sam followed it with a sound like, huh? Tiger Aunt Kay pounced in, eager, Tony Robbins-like. What are your passions, Sam? That's all they're asking. What do you love to do? Well, just stuff. His inflections now went up, as though tentatively fishing. Biking, running, hanging out with my friends. But what drives you, she pushed on, inspirationally? Aren't you driven to learning, doing, inventing, creating? Think back to your childhood. I remembered that when Sam was 6, when playing chess, he liked to attack with his king. Those pawns would fan out, and instead of castling, his king would come out kicking, one square at a time. Not a killer strategy, but highly original. Legos, Sam said. I've always built stuff with Legos. Good, I said encouragingly. That suggests a native love of building. Which clearly suggests, Tiger Ant K quickly added, whipping up a heady self-actualization souffle, that Sam has a passion for international travel so he can visit African villages that need him to build water towers that are probably solar-powered. Yes, I agreed. Sam's light protests were drowned out by my sister and I congratulating each other. No matter, her angle was brilliant. He would come round. I now gazed dreamily out the kitchen window into the backyard. Tree branches sway in the sun. There's a graceful flutter of leaves. The world hovers before me. I hover outside of it. On the counter, the New York Times Tuesday crossword sits. Not too hard, the perfect one, a quick little reward. I'm enjoying the coolness of the refrigerator, open before me. I find this a most relaxing way to snack, standing, no utensils, just hand to mouth, before a world of possibility. An open refrigerator door is a personal mid-afternoon wormhole to crawl into, a cosmic way station, a psychic rest stop. It isn't really eating, it's just pausing before a crumpled paper bag of last night's Zankou chicken. Hello, friend. I pull off a morsel, take a hearty bite. It's so moist and tender, though it seems to contain a small round pebble. I pull it out. Sometimes with Zankou, LA's gourmet Armenian chicken chain, they're in such a hurry to stuff those blue and red takeout bags, a pepper may accidentally fall into your hummus, though this is more like a popcorn kernel or little piece of bone. I fumble around in the reading glasses bowl, a lopsided blue ceramic one of my daughters made years ago at gifted children's camp. Inside is a snarl of reading glasses, half missing a stem. Glasses on, I look at the pebble. In contour, color, and sedimentary detail, it harkens back to a more prehistoric time. Burnt sienna, ancient and mottled, it's like a small chunk from some caveman tool or terracotta pot from some long-forgotten Assyrian dig. With dawning horror, I take an experimental fingertip up into the left back corner of my upper palate. It's the location of a weirdly sharp-edged molar that I would call just a bit squeaky. The tooth has long had a filling, I think, from early adulthood that perhaps has understandably gotten a bit loosened. But no, this is no filling. I am holding a piece of tooth in my hand. I feel my knees buckle. I collapse against the kitchen counter. Obviously, by age 55, I've lived through more than a few traumatic life events. Illness, death, birth. Never mind how I often wished for a martini-strength epidural drip that would begin in the second trimester and last until my kids turned 21. I've lived those totemic bleak life moments, pushing open those double doors to the ICU, or to the horrible new assisted living facility with your panicked, aging parent. But with the big stuff, at least, you typically have a moment to pop 3 Advils, to arrange your face, to arm yourself with a stiff bouquet of flowers from the fluorescent-lit gift shop. The last time my knees literally buckled was some 10 years ago when, after a shower, I saw my towel seeming to breathe with small dark flecks. I shrieked, sprinted to the back porch, locked the door behind me, and called 911. "It's an invasion," I told the female dispatcher. "Should we call the CDC?" "You have lice," she said. "Go buy some Rid." But those were temporary visitors. This chunk has come out of my mouth. I called Charlie. "Hello," he says. Then, "Yes, the registration." Charlie is at AAA trying to do a workaround for the fact that his 2000 BW Beetle rarely passes a smog check. "The car runs fine, it just makes smog," he keeps repeating to anyone who will listen, as though smog testing is a violation of the bug's basic right to exist. I moan. "My tooth fell out." "No, it didn't," my wasp partner says immediately. When it comes to bad news, sunny denial is Charlie's reflex response. "I'm looking at it in my hand. Glasses on." He has to drop the pretense. "Does it hurt?" he asks. "No, it doesn't." "That's good." "Is it?" I find my mood brightening. I flash on a freeway billboard I've seen a lot of a smiling brunette, eyes dreamily closed, under the magical caption, "Sleep through dentistry." A somewhat circular discussion ensues. It is true that I've stopped going to my dentist in Van Nuys since my move to Pasadena more than, was it 4, 5, 6 years ago? Oh, God. "You can see my dentist," Charlie offers, "Dr. Malvoin." "Jack Black's dentist?" I ask. Charlie is always one step away from stardom, as he's a freelance theater producer. True, there isn't much theater in L.A., but fortunately, nor are there many theater producers. His son's pediatrician had the dubious honor of being the father of Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss. I myself had my veneers done by yet another dentist to the stars. Unfortunately, the star was one of those affable old character actors, fourth barstool from the left on Cheers, rather than a real star with a real nervous condition like Barbara Streisand. "But wait," I say, "wasn't Dr. Malvoin arrested for that thing?" "Oh, yeah," Charlie says. "When did you last see him?" I say accusingly. I think I was still living back in Eagle Rock. Somehow this gives me an opportunity to lash out at my partner. "Good Lord, look at us. We're just show trash, aging bohemians who keep trying to phone this all in. We're in our 50s now. The artsy college thing isn't going to hack it. We can't just throw a paisley shawl over a peed-on futon anymore. We're falling apart." I fling one final triumphant, if slightly tortuously phrased, salvo at him. "There's probably something about retirement we should be doing also." Upon hanging up, I realize this is an emergency situation. There's no longer any pretending. I now remember how my web designer friend Katie Lazar always said how she had the best, most gentle dentist. Trouble is, Katie has changed her email so many times, from Hotmail to Gmail to Roadrunner, from Katie to Katie Cat to KTG to K&M Summers 204. Was that her husband? Oh, wait a minute, I think. Facebook. I am proud to say I have several thousand friends on Facebook. I'm less proud to admit that this may have less to do with my intrinsic popularity than with Facebook's curious algorithms. Example, while The Madwoman in the Volvo was my memoir on menopause, it is most often liked by Middle Eastern men brandishing rifles whose names are literally in Arabic. Is it because they object to a woman driving? No matter. I type Katie a personal message. "I'm so humiliated. My dental health is so poor I literally spat a tooth out. I need the sort of dentist who specializes in adult babies in diapers wheeled in hysterical on gurneys. Who's yours? Help!" After a very carefully chewed, on the right side, early dinner, I return to check the computer. Next turn, in my state of disorientation, instead of sending a private message to Katie, I have somehow managed to post tidings of my rotting tooth to everyone I know on Facebook. We're talking old high school and college friends, professional acquaintances, Goodreads buddies, the Sierra Club, and, if the photos are to be believed, no less than Barack and Michelle Obama. On the upside, This thread is huge and someone is typing, growing. It turns out middle-aged people are really obsessed with their dentists. Within 1 hour, 30 dentists have been recommended in locations ranging from Marina del Rey to Rancho Cucamonga, each with its own throaty exhortation. Ignore the others. You must see Dr. Norris. As the tsunami of comments grows into the night, my dental emergency starts turning into a kind of dental internet cafe. Aside from fascinating details about molars, root canals, and bridge work, there's riffing on the word tooth, the whole tooth, nothing but the tooth. You can't handle the tooth. And of course, because I am half Asian, Chinese dental time, tooth hurty. Fellow Facebook friends are starting entire side conversations with one another. David, how can you go to a dentist named Dvory Prepsky? And, you should talk. Yours is Dr. Alma Vilkas-Stakis. What kind of a name is Dr. Alma Vilkas-Stakis? There's rapturous discussion of favorite medications, from Valium to Ativan to Tylenol 3, in 2 milligrams, 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams. People go from describing dental emergencies they've endured to posting favorite dentist scenes from movies. These range from Dustin Hoffman being tortured by his Nazi doctor in Marathon Man to Tom Conti as a poet with bad teeth in Reuben Reuben to Jack Nicholson as the crazy dental patient in Little Shop of Horrors. At this point, new arrivals are marveling at the very size of the thread. One commentator suggests I dress my piece of tooth in a top hat and a costume and photograph it like Mr. Peanut. Good God, my tooth has gone viral. The bottom line, out of all these wonderful LA dentists in my brand new Rolodex, I decide I will go with Nan Thompson in Glendale, who specializes in terror. Even before coming in, I indulge in several phone conversations with the extremely patient Dr. Thompson. Emboldened by all those rantings on Facebook, I utter my inner monologue aloud, the first official sign of true middle age, to wit, I am a 55-year-old person who panics. Sure, I've had children and everything, but the dentist is really where I freak out. I hold on to nurses. I grab them. I attack them. You may need to hit me over the head with a frying pan. She calmly listens as I ruminate and hypothesize about the various ways this could go. I might jump out of a window. I doubt eHarmony.com supports this much pre-screening. So Dr. Thompson and I seal the deal. The next day, Charlie drives me. In one of those signature romantic outings of middle age, we have made dual overdue dental appointments. And let me tell you what a terror specialist does. She welcomes you. She seats you. She quietly adjusts the chair while making small talk. Then she says, very gently, "May I look into your mouth?" Even though a chunk of fairly strange-looking tooth has fallen out and clearly something has gone terribly wrong, instead of screaming, "Good God, it's the worst thing I've seen. The entire mouth is unsavable," Dr. Thompson warmly murmurs, without missing a beat, "Nice, beautiful veneers, and not too many cavities." Do you see? This is a dentist with a very low bar. She's saying, "Wow, look at these. You appear to have teeth. Good job, young lady. You also have a head. Neat." In fact, Dr. Thompson is so mellow and friendly and complimentary that it takes totally happy and relaxed me a moment to process her review of my X-ray. To wit, "This may not be the news you want to hear, but due to a split root, infection, and bone loss, we should really extract that tooth. The good news is that an implant will be just $5,000 and, quote-unquote, you'll be buried with it. Even better news, I can pull it out right now. With Novocaine." I balk. Novocaine. Shiver. No can do. Not today. I pad defeatedly out to the waiting room. Charlie goes in next. He emerges, looking pale. Because we're damaged goods, he
Sample complete. Ready to continue?